Leetcode 646, maximum length of pair chain. It's a medium problem, but at least in my take, it's on a simpler side of mediums, so it's not that hard once you understand what's going on. So here is the description. You are given an array of n pairs called pairs, and that's our input. We have n elements in our input array, and each element itself, it's a pair, meaning it has two sub-elements. And here, those sub-elements are called left and right. And there is an additional constraint given on that left is always less than right. So if we try to create an example like this, let's say 3 and 5, 1 and 9, and let's say 12 and 5. That's an array, and each element itself is a pair consisting of two sub-elements. And now we have an additional constraint where left, first one in the pair, has to be less than second one. Yeah? So here 3 is less than 5, it's okay. 1 is less than 9, it's okay. And here, of course, it's not okay. So we can expect that in the input that they will provide us for the tests, such thing will not be present. Yeah. So all the pairs will always have this condition satisfied, where first one is less than second. And now is the next important bit of information. A pair P2 consisting of C and D sub-elements, those are those left and right, just here it's called C and D, follows a pair P1 consisting of A and B if B is less than C. A chain of pairs can be formed in this fashion. Yeah, so here they want us to form pair chain, chains out of pairs, and there is a special condition that needs to be satisfied in order for a chain to be formed. So let's put it here, and let's think about it for a second. That's our rule, and right now we can reuse those, by the way, and copy it with black font. So in this case, that's our P1. Oh, I think we can do it like this. That's our P1. Yeah. And let's move it here. Let's move it here. And that's our P. Yeah. That means that here is our A. Yeah. And here is our B. And here is our C. And here is our D. Yeah. So if we take two pairs like this and call the first one P1, second P2, then we need to look at second element, this one, of the first pair, and first element of the second pair. Yeah. And we need to check if B is less than C. Is 5 less than 1? Not. That means that we cannot form a chain in such order. Yeah. But if we had a different example, let's say 1 and 2, and 4 and 5. Then again, what are we looking at? We just look at the second element of the first pair and first element of the second pair. Yeah? And now 2 is less than 4, so that's correct example. We can form a chain in such a manner. Now, return the length, longest chain which can be formed. The length, I think, of the longest chain which can be formed, but I'm also not sure. And what they mean by length is, of course, number of elements in the chain. So we need to have some kind of counter. Of course, when they ask about length, we will be trying to add new elements to the chain, but we don't have to keep track of the elements themselves. We just need to keep track of the count, and by the end we have to return the length. And you do not need to use up all the given intervals, of course, and you can select pairs in any order. And that's a big hint that we can do some sorting of our own. So let's take a look at examples that they have given. Let's copy all of that here and try to understand what's going on. Let's move to the side. This one we can make a bit bigger. And here is the input. And what are we checking? We check simply first element, second element of the first pair and second element of the, and first element of the second pair. Yeah, so is B less than C? Let's keep it like this, since calling it second of second and so on, it's already confusing to me. But here, of course, 2 is not less than 2, meaning that we cannot put them together, but we can skip this part completely, this second pair in the chain, and second pair in the input, and add the next pair from input to our chain. So we can do it like that. And 3 is greater than 2, meaning 2 is less than 3. And following condition is satisfied. B is less than C. Yeah? So we could add those two to our chain, and the output, meaning the number of elements, is 2. And the explanation is the longest chain is 1, 2, and then 3, 4. So now let's take a look at the second example. Let's make it bigger again. And now, if we leave it in this order, let's see what happens. Now, is 2 less than 7? Yes. But is 8 less than 4? No. Meaning that if we leave it in the order they arrive, we would get wrong answer, because the correct answer is 3 and we only added 2 elements. So what do we have to do? We have to sort by the second element of each pair. And what do we get? What is the, maybe let's do it like this. Or what is the smallest element of each pair? This one. Yeah, so that's the first. We will do insertion sort. What's the next smallest element? Second element of each pair in this one. And what's the next one? This one. And that's it. So sorted it here graphically, and that's what we get. And now 2 is less than 4 and 5 is less than 7. So in total we can add 3 elements, and that's the longest chain. So how to convert those tokens into code? First we need to sort our pairs. We can use sorted for that. First parameter is, of course, the input array, and then we can define our own sorting. And for each pair, we care about the second element. And since we index from 0, then the second element is with index 1. And now we need to keep track of our chain length. So we need some counter for that. And by the end, we'll return chain length. And second, we need to keep track of the last right element. Yeah? And since it's between -1000 and 1000, we can simply initialize it with -1001. So the last write that we create initially before we even enter the loop in which we will be iterating through pairs is for sure smaller than the smallest possible. And we need this in order to keep track of elements as we skip the elements in the middle here, because sometimes we can skip some elements and that we always need to compare with the last one in the chain. So we need to keep track of that. And that's it. And now we can iterate for left and right inside sorted pairs. If B is less than C, meaning if left is less than last right, we can increase the chain length by 1, increment by 1. And we need to update last right to the current right. And that's it. So let's try back and see how it goes. Wrong answer. Let's see what's wrong. And for sure I did something wrong. So sorted pairs is okay. Is B less than C? And not last right, sorry. Is last right less than left? Well, I reversed the condition here, which happens a lot, at least for me. And now 11 milliseconds beats 53%. We try resubmitting. Let's see how it goes. Now 72 and so on. Yeah, so whenever they don't use enough test cases or the test cases are very similar, this runtime comparison gets very random. So same result can give you very different, same implementation can give you very different results.